Alright, and this one we're going to go ahead and we're going to multiply a monomial to a binomial. Now you can multiply pretty much anything, any polynomial to another polynomial. Now I had the opportunity to show, to work with one of my students in tutorials to show both ways, either foiling, first outside, inside, last, with binomials, or using the box. And the box tends to be a little bit more visual. So looking at this, you notice that the -7 is being multiplied to 11c minus 4. So what you're doing is you're going to take this -7 and you have to distribute. So this whole entire worksheet here is distributing. And distribute is when you take your outside and you're multiplying to everything on the inside of your parentheses, to every term on the inside. So what you're going to do is you're going to do -7 times 11c and -7 times -4. -7 times 11c is -77c, and -7 times -4 is a positive 28. This is my end product when I multiply these two polynomials together, this monomial with this binomial. Now you need to know how to create your box with the box method, because that's how we're going to be factoring when we get to factoring. So let's go ahead and create a box and do the same multiplication to get this same end result. Now this right here, the way we do a box is it's going to be length times the width. Okay? Now the length here, or the width here, would be -7. The length here would be 11c minus 4. So this is a 1 by 2 multiplication box. Alright, now what you're going to do is you're going to take the area of each one of these rectangles. So we're going to do -7 times 11c, which gives me -77c. And then we're going to do -7 times -4, which is positive 28. Therefore, you get the same exact end product. -77c plus 28. So if you want to do it this way, go ahead and do it this way. But if you want to just use the box, you can use the box here. So I'm going to show both, alright, for each problem. Alright, let's look at this one. If you're doing distribution, all you have to do is do the arrows, and you're going to do -2 times 3m times plus 2, -2 times -2. So you're going to do this times this plus this times this. Alright, so -2 times 3m is -6m, and -2 times 2 is a -4. So this is my answer. Now, if you're doing the box, you're going to create your 1 by 2, -2 on the side, 3m plus 2 on the top, and you're multiplying this times this and this times this. -6m minus 4. You do have to take it out of the box. So once you do this, make sure that you take it out of the box and write it as a product. Number 3, you have -5p times 3p and -5p times -6. So -5p times 3p is -15p squared. And then -5p times -6 is a positive 30p. Put a plus sign in the middle and you are done. This is my end product. Now, this is a 1 by 2. So again, if you're going to do this by the box, multiply this by with the box, go ahead and put the -5p on the side and put 3p minus 6 on the top. Multiply 3p and -5p, you get -15p squared. and multiply negative 6 times negative 5p, and you get positive 30p. This is the same thing as that. Take it out of the box, write it, and you're done. Number 4, you are doing negative 4a times ay times ay, and negative 4ay times negative negative ab. So negative 4ay times ay, and negative 4ay times negative ab. All right, let's go ahead and look at this first. We got negative 4, and then a times a is a squared, and y times y is y squared. Negative 4 times negative 1 is a positive 4. A times a is a squared, and then b, y, because they don't have anything to multiply to. Now these two are not like terms, so you can't combine these. Let's go ahead and do this as if you had the box. AY goes on top, negative AB goes on the second block, and then we're going to go ahead and do negative 4AY out here. And all you're doing is the same operation as you would do distribution, filling in each product. So negative 4a squared y squared, and then this is positive 4a squared by. Take it out of the box and rewrite it, and that's your answer. All right, let's go ahead and look at number 5. If I do distribution, all I'm doing is my little arrows. If you're doing the box method, you're creating your 1 by 3 now. 1 by 3. So we have the 1, and then we have 5, negative 2c, and then c squared. Okay, 7 times 5 is 35. 7 times negative 2c is negative 14c, and 7 times c squared is 7c squared. Now, this is not in order. You have to put this in order. C squared comes first, then the c, then the 35, and you're done. Now, let's look and see if we do the same thing here. We have 5 times 7 is 35. This times 7 is negative 14c, and then c squared times 7 is 7c squared. Again, bring it out of the box and write it down, and you have your answer. So it's all about, do you like working it with the arrows, or do you like working it in the box? Either way works for me. Number 6. 3x times 5x squared, 3x times negative x, and 3x times 4. Okay, so number 6. So we got 3x times 5x squared, and you get 15x to the third power. We got 3x times negative x, you got negative 3x squared, and then you got 3x times 4, and that is plus 12x. 3, 2, 1, that is in order from highest exponent to lowest exponent, and that is what my end product looks like. Now if you were to do this with the box, all you have to do is just put the 3x on the side, the 5x squared, the negative x, and then the positive 4. Alright, let's look at number 7. Again, number 7, you do 2m times every term on the inside. So we got 2m times 7m to the third. We got 2m times 5m squared, and we have 2m times negative m. This will give you 14m to the 4th power plus 10m to the 3rd power plus a negative 2m squared. And this is what my end product looks like. So when I put my box together, I'm going to go ahead and make this a 1 by 3 and do my multiplication in the boxes. So we got 7m cubed on the top, 5m squared here, and a negative m here. 14m to the 4th, 10m to the 3rd, and negative 2m squared. Okay, so let's look at number 8. Alright, so number 8, what you are doing is you're going to take 2y to the 5th power and you're going to distribute that through to each term in the parentheses. So that's going to be 2y to the 5th times 3, 2y to the 5th times 2y, and 2y to the 5th times 5y to the 4th. Now again, remember when you're multiplying variables, you are adding your exponents. But when you have numbers in the front like this, like 2 times 3, you can go ahead and just multiply those. So we have 6y to the 5th. Then we got 2 times 2 here is 4. Y to the 5th times y to the 1 is y to the 6th. And then 2 times 5 is 10. And y to the 5th times y to the 4th is y to the 9th. Alright, put big old plus signs in between. And this is my polynomial. However, it's not in order. So we're gonna have to reorder this in standard form, and we put the highest exponent first, then the next highest, and then the next highest. And highest to lowest, and that's in order. Now, if you were to do this with the box, you would do your 1 by 3, 2y to the 5th on the side, and then your 3, the 2y on top, and 5y to the 4th on the top, and the 3rd box. And you just fill out your products. 3 times 2y to the 5th is 6y to the 5th. 2y times 2y to the 5th is 4y to the 6th. And 5y to the 4th times 2y to the 5th is 10y to the 9th. Put it in order and take it out of the box, put it in order, and that is your answer. Alright, let's look at number 9. We're multiplying 2m to the 4th and distributing that through the parentheses to these 3 terms here. We have 2m to the 4 times 3m to the square, 2m to the 4 times 5m, and 2m to the 4 times 6. Alright, so 2 times 3 is 6. We got m to the 6th plus 2 times 5 is 10, and when we got m to the 4 times m to the 1, that's m to the 5th. And then 2 times 6 is 12, and m to the 4th. 6, 5, 4 in order from highest exponent down to lowest exponent, and you are done distributing. Now again, this is a 1 by 3. So we're going to do 2m to the 4th on the outside, 3m squared, and then the other term, and then the next term, and there's my 1 by 3. Multiply each square individually, so length times width, so 6m to the 6th, 5 times 5m times 2m to the 4th is 10m to the 5th, and 6 times 2m to the 4th is 12m to the 4th. Usually doing it with the box, it helps you focus on each individual square at a time. It forces you to focus on each individual computation. So I can see why a lot of the students favor the box method over distributing. Again, all you have to do is show me one of these ways. You do not have to show me both. Just show me one of these ways and you'll be fine. Just make sure that if you are showing the box method, you're taking it out of the box and writing it in standard form. All right, let's look at number 10. With number 10, I would choose the box method because this will become a really, really, really long sequence. And that can be very confusing and jumbled up. So let's go ahead and do this with the box, and instead of one box, I'm going to have 1 and 2. So we're going to have a 1 by 3 and we're going to have a 1 by 2. So let's go ahead and look at that. Let's see what that's going to look like. So we have 5W here for the width, and for my length we're going to have W squared minus 7W and plus 3. And all we're doing is finding the area of each square, so we're multiplying length times width for each one of these boxes. So this is going to be 5W to the third power, negative 35W to the second power, and 15W. Now we have a second box here, and this is going to be a 1 by 2 with 2W on this outside, 2 plus 19W on the top. Now, let's go ahead and look at this. We got 2 times 2W, which is 4W. And then we got 19W times 2W, which is 38W squared. Now, the reason why I said that this is easier when you're looking at it on the box, it's easier on the eyes, because now what you're doing is you're going to combine like terms. And all you are doing is looking at the individual boxes. So the one with the highest exponent is a cube, is W to the third power. That's going to be the first term in my polynomial. So we got 5W to the third power, and we already went to that box. The second box that we're going to be looking at is the W squareds. Now we have 38 here and negative 35 here. When I add it together, you get plus 3W squared. And last but not least, we have our W's. So we have 15W plus 4W, which is 19W. So instead of looking at that long sequence of numbers, this is kind of pretty easy given the fact that you're just looking inside of the squares at this point and just matching up each like term and combining them. All right, let's look at number 11. Okay, we have a 1 by 2 and a 1 by 3. So let's go ahead and do that. 1 by 2. 6G goes on the outside. We got 2G and a negative 3 on the top. Okay, we got 2 times 6 is 12. G times G is G squared. And then negative 3 times 6 is negative 18. And do not forget my G. All right, we got negative 5. So this is a 1 by 3. We got negative 5 out here. And then we got 2G squared, 9G plus 9G. And a minus 3. Okay, so we have 2 times negative 5 is negative 10, and that's a G squared. And then 9 times negative 5 is negative 45. Do not forget my G. And then a negative 5 times a negative 3 is a positive 15. Now again, look inside of the boxes and combine like terms. Highest exponent are my G squareds. I have a 12, and then I have a negative 10. 12 minus 10 is 2. So we got 2G squared. And now we have my G's. I got a negative 45 and a negative 18. So that's going to give me a negative 63G. And last but not least is this plus 15 over here. You have a square, a 1, and a constant. So a quadratic, a linear term, and a constant term. That is in order. So that's in standard form. That is in order. And here's my trinomial. And it's a quadratic trinomial because this is a degree of 2. Quadratic trinomial because it has 3 terms, 1, 2, 3. Degree of 2, quadratic. And my leading coefficient is 2 because it's in the front. It's the coefficient in the front with my leading variable. All right. Let's go ahead and look at number 13. Find the area of a rectangle. That is what we've been doing with these boxes. That is what we've been doing with these boxes. All right, so what we're doing is we are multiplying. Area of a rectangle is length times my width. So we are multiplying my length, which is 3x cubed y, times the width, which is 2xy plus x to the 5th. Okay, we can go ahead and do our box if you would like to. So this is going to be a 1 by 2. 3x cubed y goes out here. We got 2xy on the top and x to the 5th on the top. And that's a plus x to the 5th. Okay, so we got 2 times 3 is 6. And these are 1s, okay? X to the 1 times x to the 3 is x to the 4th. And y to the 1 times y to the 1 is y squared. Now we have this times this, which is 3x to the 8th y. And what we are going to do is we're going to write this coming outside of the box. We're going to put the highest degree first, and the highest degree is going to be this one right here because it has the most exponents when you add them up. So we have 3x to the 8y to the 1 plus 6x to the 4y squared. And that is my simplified answer to this polynomial expression when you multiply this length to this width. Okay, all right, let's look at number 14. All you are doing is do not be afraid of a fraction. So what we're doing is we are distributing the 2/3 into each term inside of my parentheses. So again, remember that when you are multiplying a fraction to a whole number, you are multiplying the tops, the numerators, divided by multiplying the denominators. And if it's a whole number, you put it over 1. So 2 times 6 is 12. 12 divided by 3 times 1 is 3, and 12 divided by 3 is 4. Okay, we have 2/3 times a -5 over 1. Okay, so this is going to be -10 over 3. Now you can't reduce that, but this could be -3 and 1/3. Now when you multiply 2/3 times 4, you get 8/3, or again, this could be rewritten as 2 and 2/3, because 2 times 3 is 6, and 8 minus 6 is 2, so you'll have 2 left over when you divide that. And 3 goes into 10 3 times, because it's a 9, and you'll have that 1 left over. So know how to change your improper fractions into mixed fractions. All right, but for the polynomial's sake, we're going to go ahead and use the improper fractions. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and put the x squared first, because this times this, so is the 4, so it's 8/3. So it's going to be 8/3 x squared. And then over here, I'm going to start with a 10th negative minus 10/3 x, and then the 6. Okay, so 2/3 times 6 is 4. So we're going to do plus 4. And that is my answer. Alright, so when you are multiplying a polynomial by a monomial, all you are doing is what again? You are distributing. That's it. Distributing what's on the outside into the inside. And you can use the distribution property, or you can just go ahead and use your box method.